Good morning. Welcome to your Sunday mornings, early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well. And we'll give it a minute for people to pop on. It is extremely hot here already and going to continue for another day, so I will be going out to water my poor plants so they can survive this. And we have a card today that I think is designed to help us shift gears in productive ways. And good morning, Abigail. Glad you're here. Welcome. We'll give it a minute for the rest of the practical rebels to begin to assemble. And on purpose, I left it so that, the light is shining a little bit. Hello, Joe Neal. Welcome. Because I feel like we need to keep our eyes on the light. Capital L. Today and the next however long are going to be days where focusing on the light is going to be of utmost importance. And the temptation is going to be to get sucked down the drain of, oh my God, now what's happened? Terrible, horrible, awful, etc. And I want you all to remember. Good morning, Nancy. Glad you're here. Welcome. We'll let a few more of you get on, but I want you to remember the information I shared. I don't know. Was that even less than a week ago? From Amanda Ellis, that kind of said, "Here's where we'll be." Good morning. Ruth Ann's here, and Carolyn just rolled past. So all the practical rebels lining up. Glad you're here. So again, the temptation is going to be to get sucked down the wormhole of, oh my God, everything's going to hell in a handbasket. And it certainly appears that way. But I'm going to reiterate Amanda Ellis's words that right now, the duty of the light keepers is to keep our eyes on the light. Don't get sucked down the wormhole of here's all the terrible things that are happening, because they're happening, but us getting sucked into them and losing faith in the universe is not going to get us where we want to go. Good morning, Beth. Welcome. So let us start with some tapping and some breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And if you're finding yourself feeling overly anxious right now, and it's not overly anxious, it's appropriate anxious given the crap that's jumping off, but anxiety isn't going to get us where we want to go. So tapping, breathing, staying in the light, repeatedly, staying in the light. Good morning, Gwen. Glad you are here. So you can keep tapping, you can keep breathing as we go here. But I want to reiterate Amanda's words. She made the point that something big was going to happen. Here we are. And that our job is to stay in the light. There's my reminder right there. Stay in the light. Do what is of the light. Okay? Good morning, Mel. Glad you're here. And I believe this card, and like I said, that reading that she did, much of it was also focused on travel. And I leave on Thursday. Well, we'll see. If planes are still flying, we'll leave on Thursday. But travel. And so being in nature right now, again, is a huge piece of this. And today's card reiterates that. So, Earth Magic, Stephen D. Farmer, Whale, Breach. So, take a breath. Let it go. Ground through your feet on the exhales. Push your feet into the ground. Feel Mother Earth. In out. Grounded. The more grounded you are, the more your tools will work. The more grounded you are, the more you can stay in the light. The more grounded you are, the more you can be of use to yourself and to others. Breath. And out. Whale. Breach. This powerful creature of the ocean takes a few deep sweeps with his fins and propels himself briefly out of the waters where he spends the majority of his life. Thank you, Gwen. I appreciate that. That is our call to action right there. Stay in the light. He's taking a break from the ordinary earth element in which he lives, water, to exist even for a few moments in the realm of blue skies and sun, having broken through the skin of the ocean in a magnificent display of fullness and strength. Human beings can show magnificent displays of fullness and strength. Stay in the light. All baleen whales breach, but none more spectacularly than the humpbacks. Considered the acrobats of this family, they arch, stretch, and twist their bodies even as they approach the surface of the water. In what may be an ancient mating ritual, a form of communication, or even a way to remove parasites. How practical. In this image, a humpback whale that has burst out of the ocean expresses an almost palpable feeling of release and joy. And that was our word yesterday, right? Allow release. I'm going to read our questions from yesterday briefly, just so you can check in with yourself. How are you dishonoring yourself by holding on to what no longer serves you? If you let it go, what would you be making space for that is deserving of your time, energy, and attention? Back to our whale. Often we manage to change our environment, to break through illusory blockages. We experience an intense feeling of relief and can let go of any previously held fears and assumptions of what would happen once we did overcome that barrier, whether it's material, emotional, mental, or in our environment. Okay? So I'm going to take a brief pause there, and I want to relay a story. And now we're like, oh yeah, of course. At the time, it was anything but, oh yeah, of course. So, runners, there was a point in time where the common belief, and I want you to see how this common belief created reality. The belief created the reality, not the other way around. Not the other way around. And that is very important for our times right now. Our beliefs are creating this reality. Change the beliefs, we change the reality. So, the belief was no human being could run a 4-minute mile. Wasn't possible, never going to happen, blah, blah, blah. Years went by and nobody broke the 4-minute mile. Then Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile. Within a very short period of time, many other men had broken that 4-minute mile. Why? Because their thought process changed. We need our thought processes to change here. We are getting what we are creating with our thoughts. 100th monkey, tipping point, whatever framework you want to use for this thing. We need enough people thinking thoughts of peace. We need enough people staying in the light, capital L. We need enough people shifting their thinking to what's possible in a positive sense, and things will change. Put your effort there. Put your effort there. And don't feel like you're the only one who's putting your effort there. It's a collective effort. Whatever part we can, it's like pushing a car to get it to go, right? More people join in pushing the car, it gets easier for each person who's pushing. Once momentum gets going, it gets easier. Yes, yes, yes. It gets easier to keep that car going, right? That's what we're doing right now. We're breaching the old beliefs. We're pushing a new vehicle. We're bringing to the surface the opportunity to shift our reality here. Okay, let's see. I love this next line. You ready? Breathe. Simply getting away from the trance of technology for a few hours and spending that time in nature is a breach from the trappings of civilization that can suffocate us, especially the trappings of civilization that are being controlled by very few, right? So we need to bring online the effort, the beliefs, the energy of the masses. Let's see. The trappings of civilization that can suffocate us and prevent us from connecting to Earth and to each other, We need to be fostering that connection, fostering the oneness. We are all one. Yes, Earth is a planet of duality. We're the ones who are going to change that. It's not an either or, it is an and. Keep that in mind. Okay, so here's the part of the card where it's talking to us specifically. I'm going to show you your breach again. It is time to take a break. Not just a coffee break, but a respite from the usual environment you find yourself in. That trip you wanted to take, go for it. Tired of being indoors? Make a point to get outside. You have become so attached to your surroundings that you have created within them an illusion of safety. So all of these people who think that the things that are unfolding are exactly what's going to create safety are in an illusion. I would push it even further. They're delusional. They're delusional. Okay? So make it a point to get outside. Have created within the illusion of safety, yet it is not these things that make you feel safe. Rather, the familiarity you have imbued in your surroundings have generated this false sense of security. The crap I hear people say, well, we're in the United States, one of the safest countries in the world. No, actually, this is one of the more dangerous places to be. We're viewed really well by all other countries. No, right now we're not viewed well by, many have written us off. We need to take a look at what is the reality. I remember a point in time where there was a political upheaval in Green Bay when I was there. It was around healthcare, and the winners were bad-mouthing the losers. Really, everybody lost. Everybody lost. When we do battle, everybody loses. And the kind of, it had this "we're number one" feel to it that was just nauseating. Absolutely nauseating. We need to learn from our past. Again, we don't want to dwell in our past, but we need to learn from our past. Have we learned nothing here? Have we learned nothing about what does not work? Does not work in the long run, right? Okay, so here is the antidote to what's going on right now. Taking time away from the familiar is literally about changing your external environment in a significant way, such as doing something unusual or perhaps something you have always wanted to experience. Another perspective is breaking through the barrier of beliefs that have constricted you in any way from being who you truly are. Midwest nice? Out the window. Out the window. A lot of things. Going along to get along? Out the window. No. Staying with a job that you hate in order to just get by? Done. Done. Staying in a relationship that's abusive? Nope. Forget it. This is your opportunity to do some intentional breaching of those thought patterns, which will open you to different worlds and perspectives. And sometimes things in our world have to get pretty dire to blast us out of our complacency, right? Hearing people say things like, well, I'll just stick with it for a while because, and whatever their excuse is. Till the kids are out of the house, till, the cows come home, till the planets align, whatever. No, now is the time for change. Now is the time to do what you're supposed to be doing, what you're being called to do. And if you don't know, that's where we were the other day when we were knowing when it was time to let go. Letting go isn't the end of the world. It's the beginning of a new life. We are right now at the crossroads of that letting go. The other card, allow release. Allow release. The message has been coming over and over and over and over and over. What are you doing to heed the message? What are you doing to heed the message? If I look back over the last couple of months, there's a lot of stuff I've done to lay the groundwork for things to be different. Some of those pieces being laid over a year ago, like setting up this trip. That began to unfold over a year ago. So, small steps, baby steps, thought-shifting steps. Even if you just changed one aspect of your thought process, that's a step in a good direction. So maybe it is, rather than thinking, I've got to do this all myself and I'm not powerful enough to do it, I'm co-creating with God. I'm co-creating with the universe. There are other people who are actively putting effort and energy into creating our new world in ways that are kind and loving. So, that's our card for today. Relatively apropos card, I think. Breach. Break free from. Change what you've always done. Do something different, even if it's something small. So, on that note, have an awesome Sunday. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Let me repeat. You are capable of far more than you think you are.